bit better for the final run to the start.
Their way into the entry bar on the start.
Play-by-play. And you see that Jimmy Spindle, Emirates Team New Zealand, still going for a hook. This is a risky play by New Zealand at this stage, so low in the box, right by that yellow line. Way down in the box beyond that yellow line. They're really going to be slow getting back up. Dominating this start. To go over the starting line right now, Oracle might actually just stay here.
Yeah, hold on a sec. I'm gonna make sure that I can get some yeah, otherwise I'm gonna see what's going on.
At this point, it's very even speed-wise, but it's the setup.
Number 9, the Americans have the lead. Let's go back quickly, Ken, and take a look at the start one more time. You made a very good point. The Americans were in no rush to get across the line.
Plenty of time, plenty of distance to get up there. They just stuff New Zealand. Wait for the speed differential, wait for New Zealand to slow down more, and then they can speed away. It's just...
So Spindle is Dean Barker up at the top, and there you see the lead approaching 175 meters now. And the big question is, Gary Jobson, how soon is Ben Ainslie looking to that leeward mark or gate number 2 and setting themselves up?
Now comes the time where Team New Zealand has to be thinking about that split. It's been so effective at this bottom gate to go around the other side of the gate for the boat behind. They got to be thinking ahead and trying to create that split, which will probably cost them one more jibe in the big picture.
40 seconds now. 20 seconds.
That's 20 seconds to a ley line, Todd. Pretty calm boat right now where you're on Oracle. Ben Ainslie is clearly in charge, and he's just working on ley lines into that bottom mark.
The problem here, if New Zealand wants to split, they'll have to do 2 jives to get to the left gate.
Spoiling jibes, though, Gary, they cost so little in VMG, or the actual distance toward the mark. They can get away with 2 jibes, but this last maneuver is a tough one. This is a hard one to pull off, and pull off effectively if you're Team New Zealand.
At gate number 2, Oracle Team USA, the defenders of the America's Cup, make the move, and their lead has grown. Remember, it was just 4 seconds at the first mark, and will the Kiwis split? Yes, they will.
But man, Oracle had pace on that run, Gary. That's as big an opening as we've seen on a first run of any leg so far.
They've gained about 8 boat lengths, Kenny. Big improvement in downwind speed. Now let's see what about upwind.
So from 4 seconds to 18 seconds is now the lead for Oracle Team USA over Emirates Team New Zealand. The Kiwis, this has been their strength, leg 3 of 5, and this has been really the problem until the last race for Oracle Team USA. Interesting dynamic for the Americans, Ken. They technically have 3 helmsmen on board. Jimmy Spindle, Tom Slingsby, and of course Ben Ainslie.
But like we said in the pre-show, Slingsby is really, I think he's the key to communication here. Ainslie's he's not a born tactician, but Slingsby is keeping that communication loop open all the time as a go-between between these 2 guys, between these 2 really good sailboat racers.
Ready, line. 3, 2, 1.
gets rattled. His man, Ray Davies, the tactician, quietly working with him as Barker continues to survey over the water here on the upwind leg. The Kiwis have 6 wins. They need 3 more, and the cup is going back to New Zealand. Come on, here we go.
Todd, these guys tacking maneuver, I can't underestimate, I can't understate how much it's improved in the last 5 days. They've gone to school on Team New Zealand and how they're attacking the boat, how they're controlling the dagger boards, the hydraulics, the wing, everything in unison, and they're figuring it out. And they're sailing the boat. They're actually foiling upwind now, right there, but they're using a skimming technique now that Team New Zealand has been using for a while. They're not digging that bow in the water and displacing, trying to create a longer hull. They're actually skimming, or here, they're actually foiling. Very similar, again, to how Team New Zealand was really beating them up around the race course in the past.
I'll tell you, Wendy's still going. He's going to go to bound hand there. Very steady pressure. Might have a little bit of blood on my eyes.
Is out of the water a good chunk of the time now. They've just completely changed the philosophy as to how they're sailing the boat upwind.
Look how choppy it is on the right-hand side of the course where the Americans are.
And that just means better current out there, Gary. That kind of middle right-hand side is where it's called the dumping ground area, and that's always known as the most amount of current as there is on San Francisco Bay.
You can look at the body posture of Dave Barker and tell that he's losing a lot right now. The right side of the course, where Oracle Team USA is better. More current, and the wind, Ken, has really shifted to the right here, a little bit different than we've seen over the past week. The USA continues to gain.
The Americans now lead by more than 300 meters in the past. Leg number 3 has been their downfall as the Kiwis have been known to pounce on them. And as Ken pointed out, somehow, some way, over the course of the last 3 days, Oracle Team USA has learned to tack much better, and it certainly is showing here at race number 9.
Lovely track, lovely track.
Pulling up on us, man.
Seemed like last week it's better to me when I run those high speeds, you know.
Say again?
I just took a little break off. Sail the boat, mate. Hey, going straight.
You heard Ben Ainsley say there, lovely tack, lovely tack. Actually, it sounded like Jimmy was starting to explain what he did different in the tack, and Ben just said, hey, sail a boat.
Meanwhile, work continues for Emirates. Team New Zealand sitting on 6 victories, needing only 3 more to take the cup away from the Americans. Lucky Charm back on there. Grant Dome, 56 years of age. The 2 races the Kiwis have lost, Gary, he has not been on the boat. Is there any chance he does not stay on the boat?
Taking a look up the course here, Emirates Team New Zealand just no match for Oracle Team USA as we continue on leg 3 heading for the windward mark.
Up on here. No pressure. Very nice. Same time here at the moment.
Constant communication on Oracle Team USA, and this is something, Ken, that we were not hearing 2 or 3 races ago.
Great communication, obvious great speed. They've actually opened up on a beat here. Full credit to their design engineer and shore teams for changing gears, and then the sailors, of course, for changing modes on how they're sailing this boat upwind. A completely different boat than what we've seen in the past on this leg 3.
You know, Ken, when you think about the guys, Tom Slingsby and Ben Ainsley, they won their Olympic gold medal sailing single-handed. They're not used to talking to anybody, and they seem to be enjoying it working together.
This is leg 3 of 5, race number 9, day number 6 of the 34th America's Cup. The Americans have seized the momentum. Yesterday there was just one race contested because of high winds. Race number 2 was taken off the board, and it is now the Americans who seem to have figured out the bay.
Massive, right hand going fast, I don't need 2 more. Take time back. Good game.
These guys at Oracle have to be really excited at this stage. They were down and out at this event. Dean Barker, though, has been calling this. He said they knew they were going to come up with little triggers, little bits. It was going to help them go faster. And sure enough, the Americans and the Oracle compound has figured out how to do it.
Going to lay line, right hand gate here.
Ainsley saying going to lay line, right hand gate now. Late in the leg, it's time to minimize maneuvers and just simplify. No more need to cover, just simplify.
As the wind continues to blow, the Americans are out in front by more than 300 meters. We have to start thinking about the second race of the day, which would be race number 10 of this regatta. And Gary, from your position out on the water and your knowledge of this area, do you think we see a second race today, or does Mother Nature blow it out?
Well, Todd, right now we're only 2/10 of a knot under the wind limit. If they get around the next mark, the wind limit goes away. It's a 5-minute average. As for the afternoon race, it's going to be very hard to get it in if this wind continues to build.
Those tacks, they're what effectively looks like a roll tack. It's not a roll tack, but those of us who sail dinghies, it looks like a roll tack. One hull in, the other hull out. Immediately, it reduces the wetted surface by literally 50% and allows the boat to accelerate much quicker. Incredible change of events for Oracle Team USA.
Remember the light spot and then sting back on in 15. Pressure on here. Pressure back on you now.
One thing we're hearing much more of, especially today, is more talking coming from Ben Ainsley. He is playing the role of tactician for Oracle Team USA.
You've got to believe he's getting more comfortable every day. This is a new spot. That first day must have been pretty intimidating for him. But he's clearly getting better at it. I'm sure they're watching a ton of tape at night to help him just speed up the whole process.
So this race will stick as the Americans make the turn on gate number 3. The wind limit goes away, and the Kiwis now in a very odd position for them as they watch the Americans out in front. And Dean Barker looking to work some magic here on leg number 4. Can Emirates Team New Zealand make a big charge and get some heavy pressure, or will the Americans sail away with the victory? The lead has gone up to 33 seconds for the Americans over Emirates Team New Zealand here in race number 9.
Gary, I'm curious, out on the committee boat, how close did they actually get to the wind limit in this race?
Well, they were 2/10 underneath as Oracle Team USA is only 3 boat lengths from us, sailing downwind at 40 knots. What an impressive sight.
Dean Barker scanning the horizon, trying to figure out where the most pressure is and the most favorable current here. Leg 4 of 5. Meanwhile, it's Oracle Team USA clearly in control of this race.
Coming into more pressure all the time. Nice work, lads.
Team USA with a more than 600-meter lead on Emirates Team New Zealand.
Good lead here. It's out to the finish.
And Ken, if Oracle Team USA can hold on and get this win, their 3rd
can't overestimate the amount of enthusiasm that this program, and you never know, they could be onto something and just sitting back there right now in the laboratory creating the next big jump. You don't know. The vertical learning curves on these boats are still staggering. How much faster they go every day. These guys are onto something clearly.
Take a shot of the body language on Team USA now as opposed to 4 or 5 races ago. It is a completely different story.
Different boat. It's just a different boat, a different team. Just tremendous how they've massaged a bad situation and created a good one.
You know, it makes me wonder whether the New Zealanders will say, you know what, we're off the pace, we got to reconfigure. Maybe it's time for them to take their car and not race the next race.
And what Gary Jobs is alluding to is each team has a provisional card where they can waive off a race for any reason. Oracle Team USA did it earlier this week when they were just getting it handed to them. Jimmy Spithill pulled the card and said, we need to shut it down. We are out of sorts. They clearly have some kind of advantage. So they waived off the second race of that day. And that's a good question by Gary. If the Kiwis feel that there's just something missing and they can't match it, but they just say, you know what, we're done for the day, waive off the second race.
Well, I'm not totally convinced at this stage they're not matching them. I just think the Americans have sailed a really good race. They rounded the right gate, the correct side of the gate. They tacked on top of it. They gave disturbed air to Emirates Team New Zealand at the right time. They found the best current on that beat. I think they sailed a really good leg. So Team New Zealand, yes, your advantage may be gone, but I'm not sure you're down and out yet.
But we saw Dean Barker win 3 starts in a row over the last couple days before Jimmy Spithill turned the tide. That was a slam dunk on the starting line, and then he started.
So the lead has now ballooned up to 700 meters. The Kiwis actually sailing a little faster at 36 knots or 41 miles an hour. Dean Barker still looking for a window of opportunity. He had his moment yesterday, maybe thinking the Americans might miscalculate this win and put themselves in a bad spot. Excitement around the USA camp is this is what they thought they would see from day one of the America's Cup.
I can tell you, walking around America's Cup Park yesterday afternoon, a lot more people were showing off their Oracle t-shirts than a couple days prior. For sure.
Straight into the finish. Okay, top inlet.
Well, if we go forward on the book, and it will look as though the Kiwis are still firmly in control of this one. If the Americans do hold on to win this race number 9, it will be 6-1 on the score. Now, for those watching at home will say 6-1, it's still a Kiwi whitewash. The Americans will have won 3 races, but 2 of those points were taken away by the international jury for a pre-race infraction. So the Americans not necessarily in this totally because they're still down by 5 as they make the rounding of mark number 4. But Kenny, it's more the momentum and where they were 3 days ago to where they are now.
Absolutely right. Momentum, and all good sailors want is a chance. Give me a boat that just gives me a chance, and I think I'm a better sailor to make up for any deficiencies. These guys are good sailors, and all of a sudden they think they have a chance, clearly.
Don't load the boat up unnecessarily.
As they ride the fucking Bronco into the finish.
You heard him calling out, don't load the boat up unnecessarily, because Ken, you know you've been in these waters, you've been on this boat. That thing catches a bad pump of wind at the wrong angle, it's easy.
There's no reason to take a risk. There's no reason to have to just put the hammer down right now. You got a nice lead. Let's make sure you don't break anything, don't do anything crazy, and live to see another day.
As they approach the finish line, the fans at America's Cup Park begin to cheer. Race number 9, day number 6 of the 24th America's Cup belongs to the Americans.
flyby right there. You better look quick. You better have your shutter speed pretty fast on your camera.
Dean Barker and Emirates Team New Zealand now come in. They'll be well past 40 seconds behind the Americans as they hit the line. Not the best start for Dean Barker. He got a little aggressive down there. As we go back and analyze this one more time, Kenny, do you think that was the turning point of the race, was the start?
Oh, of course, absolutely. And Todd, these are the events that we thought were going to determine this regatta. The start we thought was going to be crucial against two fairly even teams. It hadn't turned out to be that way so far, with so many passes, more passes than any other time in the history of the Americans Cup.
And how about this speed on the course? The Americans completed that 5 legs in just over 21 minutes and 50 seconds.
And probably to the rudders right now. It's actually
Rome Kirby there has already taken his helmet off, feeling pretty good about things as they make their way back up to the top of the course. We go back and take a look at it one more time. Race 9, day 6, and it all began with the start, and you put it out, the Americans went awfully deep into the box.
they went really far to the left of the box. It can be a risky play, but Emirates Team New Zealand went after him. They kind of bit. They went after him and tried to hook. If the hook isn't going to work this low in the box, you're in trouble. And Dean Barker found out the hard way. All of a sudden, you're stuck to windward. Hey, Oracle is in complete control at this stage. They just slow him down and then accelerate away, get the maximum distance between the two boats. Just perfectly done by Jimmy Spitham.
And at the line, the Americans first off to accelerate, and New Zealand was looking for some speed, but the Americans, their acceleration, just watch as they hit mark number 1.
That's pace, that the G-force is going around these marks. It looks so simple, but you can't fathom the shaking and shuddering and groaning going on in the boats. It's pretty phenomenal.
Were you here
First jive
yesterday?
as usual. Both jiving right now. Remember, Todd, back in the day when foiling jives was hard? Well, these guys have now made it look easy. There's really nothing to gain or lose in any of these foiling jives.
Mark number 2, the Americans and the Kiwis split the course, and look how smooth that is. They go around there. Neither hole dips down the
wasn't
water.
this
The
sunny,
Kiwis
yeah.
looking very sharp as well, but at this point, Ken, the Americans are in more favorable current.
You're the Kiwis, and you're just hoping that the Americans make a mistake at this stage, and they don't. Their tacking has been the biggest improvement that we've seen in this entire event. They're keeping one hull or the other out of the water all the time, helping acceleration, reducing drag, and they're heading the right way. Ben Ainsley's doing a great job. They're even foiling at times upwind.
Mark number 3, and again, the Americans making the lead stick. And this has just got to be salt in the wound for the Kiwis as the Americans come around so smooth, so fast, and the lead would balloon to over 700 meters. And here it was at the line, race number 9, going the way of the defenders, Oracle Team USA. Enthusiastic Larry Ellison giving the thumbs up to his crew as they get the victory in race number 9. We go on board Oracle Team USA and their helmsman, Jimmy Spithill. Congratulations. Your body language looks a little different today. You guys may have just sailed the best race you've had this entire regatta.
Yeah, what a fantastic effort by the boys. Really dug it in. A very, very physical race. Winnie and Tom did a great job in the back, but I tell you what, the boys in the engine room up the front just able to extend on every single maneuver. So very, very exciting.
Hey, Jimmy, taking us back to the start. You got yourself really low in the box, down near that ley line. Did you change your instruments at all? What? You were very confident about where you were in the box in what could have been a precarious spot.
You had a hard time yesterday with the software and what my eye was seeing, and then last night Philippe and the guys, we put a lot of effort in last night trying to tune it up, and we found something that was going on, and we had a great game plan today for the start, and yeah, I mean, full credit to to Philippe and the boys for getting me back on track.
Well, Jimmy, you keep telling us that you can win races and you're making believers out of all of us. Do you change anything here going into this next race?
Not a lot. I mean, I think the boat's going great. We're talking about jibs. We're right on the limit here, but the boat's going great. The boys are winding well. And also, I want to make a special mention to our shore crew. We had a failure just before the race. One of our shore guys jumped on board, prepared the boat, and were able to race that race. So, full team effort, that one.
Jimmy,
What was your failure?
We had a failure with the rudder. I think we hit something while we were practicing, and Dan Smith, one of our shore guys, got on and got us through the race. So, the win's for him, really.
Jimmy, thanks for your time. We hope Mother Nature cooperates and you boys can race again in the second race of the day.
Thanks, guys.
Jimmy Spindley, Dean Barker, the skipper and helmsman for Emirates Team New Zealand. Dean, obviously not the way you wanted that race to go. The wind was up, but you just couldn't seem to find a way to track down the Americans. What was going on?
They're going well. They've definitely stepped up. As I guess we all expected they would. It's hard racing. It's pretty strong. It's we obviously didn't get off the start line as well as we would have liked, but it's difficult in those conditions. This much air, but stuff to make much of the start of entry. So we'll look to do a much better job in this second race this afternoon.
Hey, Dean, you guys really worked hard for that left-hand side. Did you want the pin or the left-hand end desperately? It just seemed like you guys pushed really far down in the box to go for a hook or go for the pin.
The problem with the end is if you get sort of stuck above the guy killing time, it's very easy to get locked out to the weather end. You've got to really drag the action off that lay line, and it's just at the end it's very hard to make it happen with the time that we got.
Dean, I'm just wondering, looking at the boat, do you feel you're a little slower here in these heavy wind conditions? About even, or if you get a good start, you'll be able to hold them off?
Well, we had similar conditions yesterday. We felt like we were going just fine. I think they got their bow clear today, and I think they probably made a pretty nice little gain out of the bottom gate. And so, it was always going to be hard for us to sort of peg our way back into it. They're going just fine. They've got another gear in these conditions.
Dean, the score is now 6-1. You still just need 3 more wins to take the cup back to New Zealand. What will be your message to the boys when you get ready for race number 2?
Well, look, we know this is going to be a battle, and we've been saying that right from the start. It's not over until it's over, and these guys, they're not going to let it go easily. So, we know that we've got to keep pushing hard and just do what we do well.
Dean, as always, we appreciate your time. Best of luck to you in the next race.
Thank you.
The second race of the day. As he mentioned, the wind's starting to pick up just a little bit. We'll take a moment and take a look at the stats from race number 9 that went the way of Oracle Team USA. And Ken, I don't think I've seen them race a better one here in this regatta.
Look at the speed downwind. A lot of times when you change a boat to actually get it to go better upwind, you actually have to take something away downwind.